welcome to the morning show. We're coming to you today on WJOPLP Newburyport at FM 96.3 on Channel 9, and will also be available on Newburyport Community Media's YouTube channel at ncmhub.org. I'm your host, Mary Jacobsen, and I am delighted this morning to welcome Jason Iannuzzi and Miranda Russell. Jason joined Cantemus Chamber Chorus as artistic director in 2022, and he has since established a reputation for innovative and impactful programming, ranging from the unforgettable Annalise of a few years ago to the most recent concert, Shared Breath, Shared Song concert of sacred music from around the world. The Cantemus concert coming up May 2nd and May 3rd will offer yet another creative program, this time marking the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence with a salute to the Great American Songbook. Jason, welcome to the morning show again, and thank you so much for taking time to be here.
Thank you so much. It's nice to be here in the studio with you for the first time.
In person in the studio for the first time. Yay. It's always my preference to look people directly in the eyes in person. Well, the American Songbook concert offers a special collaboration between Cantemus and jazz pop folk vocalist Miranda Russell, who sings a wide-ranging repertoire and is known for performing standards from the American Songbook. She's performed on stages from Gloucester and Cambridge to Brussels. Her local connections include being an Emerson College acting major and having studied directing at Harvard Extension School. She also studied music therapy and classical voice performance at Loyola University. She is, in sum, it appears to me, a musical Renaissance woman. So, Miranda, welcome to the morning show, and thank you so much for taking time to be here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, let's talk about the concert. I'd like to start, Jason. First of all, if you could define the Great American Songbook for us and tell us how you got the idea of helping celebrate the 250th signing of the Declaration of Independence by doing a program saluting the songbook.
Sure, I'll take the second part first. As you might recall, last spring we did a program called I Hear America Singing.
Yeah.
And it was not a quote-unquote rah-rah America concert. I think, given the national landscape right now and a lot of the rather stressful things that are going on, we wanted to find a way to honor America, but also to ask some questions and to think about where we are and where we might go. And as we looked at how we might then approach this season's concert to honor the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, we could have gone with something, Words of the Founding Fathers, or Howard Hanson's Song of Democracy, or something in this vein. But we thought it might be nice to offer something different. And for my way of thinking, the Great American Songbook, that treasure trove of wonderful songs and lyrics, originally sort of defined by, let's say, the period between World War I and World War II. I think when we look back 250 years from now, this is a core repertoire that's going to still be sung and performed, listened to, and enjoyed. And I think it's a distinctly American contribution that's going to stick around for a long time. So as musical artists, it seemed like for me a very natural foray for the singers in Cantemus to hop in there. And I think they love this repertoire. We love singing this repertoire. We're doing some amazing arrangements. And so I think one of the things we've wrestled with, and one of the things that Miranda is bringing to the project, is that as we move beyond the early part of the 20th century, we have to begin to have an expansive view of what the Great American Songbook is and what things are included or allowed to be included there. And I think our concert presents a rather expansive definition of that, and that's really been a contribution from Miranda as a pop jazz singer, whose core repertoire does include the standards, but also pieces which maybe someday will become standards. So
absolutely, yeah. Well, that sounds totally fun and totally brilliant. Well, Miranda, I'm curious to find out What made you be interested in collaborating with a chorus? And have you ever done anything in collaboration with a chorus like Cantemus before?
I have not. This is my first foray into a collaboration of this size with a chorus like Cantemus, and it's very exciting to me. When I was first approached by Cantemus to discuss this collaboration, I was immediately intrigued, and I thought, well, why not? I do appreciate their work. I've seen several of the concerts that they've put on in recent years, and it's always impressive. The chorus is quite accomplished, especially under Jason's direction, and their choices are always bold and exciting. The execution is usually perfect or spot on, and I couldn't think of a good reason not to. It's really exciting for me to have the chorus join me on some of the songs that have become standards in my repertoire. And it's going to be really an exciting thing. It's going to be really fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, it sounds exciting, and I can see the animation in your face as you think about what it will be like. Cantemus is a good bet.
Yeah, definitely.
And so are you.
Well, having gone to music school, I did sing in a lot of choruses of different sizes, from large choral ensembles, just much smaller choral ensembles, even madrigal groups and things of that nature. So I love group singing as much as I'm considered more of a solo performer. I do love group singing. I love the blend. I love to hear the harmonies. I really appreciate other voices. So it's going to be a real treat for me to be a part of this collaboration.
Absolutely. It sure sounds like it. Well, Miranda, I know you're bringing some musicians with you. So what kind of instruments will they be playing?
My band, as they're affectionately called, the Miranda Russell Band.
Well, that seems only appropriate.
We're really, really lucky that they're all going to be joining us for this event. For the most part, there are a very eclectic and extremely talented and well-studied group of musicians. So we'll have a pianist, we will have a guitarist, and a drummer, a bass player, and a man who plays both violin and mandolin equally well. So they will be the backing band who will be playing behind me, and also on the songs that we collaborate with the chorus on.
Wonderful. Well, talking about the songs you'll be collaborating on, I understand that there are some arrangements, new arrangements, that have been specifically written for you, Miranda, and Cantemus to perform together. So I'm curious to find out who did the arranging and what's distinctive about these arrangements.
Well, the arrangements were created by my piano player, David Spar, who's an extremely talented arranger and performer. He plays a lot in this area, does a lot of conducting and arranging and directing for different groups. He either tailored some existing arrangements that we already do, or completely wrote them from scratch for this particular project. So I think what's unique about them is that it's a person who I work with directly a lot and very closely, and someone who has a lot of experience in writing for ensembles, and has been able to sort of take his skills and sort of try to apply them to what the chorus can bring in terms of their skills and what he knows that we are able to do as a group. And I think it's nice because he's going to be there. So once we get together with each other as sort of two ensembles meeting up, if there are any things that need to be tweaked or fixed or rearranged, he'll be right there, and it won't be a big deal.
The arranger will be there
on the spot.
On site.
Yes.
Gulp.
Sorry, David.
Well, it sounds like it's probably a fun opportunity for him as well. Well, that sounds terrific. Well, as a special treat, I thought this might be a good time. We actually have a couple of clips of you, Miranda, singing a couple of standards. So let's shift gears and listen to the first clip, which is Georgia on My Mind. Do you want to say anything about this before we play the clip, Miranda?
Georgia on My Mind. No, it's nothing other than, I think the song, hopefully the clip will sort of stand on its own, but it's really fun song to perform, and it is, I think it touches a lot of people, and it goes way back, but it's very recognizable, and I think it's a nice touchstone for people.
And most people, I think, associate Georgia on My Mind with Ray Charles, and they, like me, I confess, have thought maybe he wrote it, but it's Hoagy Carmichael.
Yes.
Of Stardust and many other things.
Yes.
Fame.
Yes.
So let's take a listen.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Well, it does speak for itself. It's such a beautiful song. It must be wonderfully fun to sing for you.
It really is. Oh yes, it's a lot of fun. That particular song has a lot of dynamic changes in it as the song progresses. So it starts, sort of sweet and almost a little bit melancholic, and then by the end, it's more of an anthem.
Yeah, and it's a much loved song for obvious reasons, and your version of it is quite lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you for sending that clip.
Sure.
We have another clip that I'll play. It's a different. You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go, which is a Bob Dylan song. Is there anything? And I have to confess, I was not familiar with this song, which I guess it just reflects gaps in my musical literacy. But we'll let it speak for itself, or sing for itself. Is there anything you wanted to say about this before we play the clip?
No, I think maybe later in the discussion we can get into Bob Dylan.
Terrific. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
I've seen love go by my door. It's never been this close before. It's never been so easy or so slow. I've been shooting in the dark too long, and something's not right, it's wrong. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Dragging clouds so high above, I've only known careless love. It's always hit me from below. But this time around it's more correct. It's right on target, so direct. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go.
It has an almost country twang to it.
Yes, we kind of gave that one a little bit of a country spin. Both of those clips that you just played were pulled from live performances. So they were, I can't remember the exact particular concert that they were recorded at, but I think I can, just in hearing a little bit out of the headphones, I recalled that those were from live shows, which sometimes the energy and the vibe, if you will, on a live performance is different than you would get in a studio setting where.
Well, sure, because there's an energy to the group, and they're responding to what you're singing, and it would be, something that you would then respond to. That makes perfect sense. But I take it the country twang was not intentional ahead of time.
No, I think it was. It's just sometimes when the horses left the barn and you're on the stage and you're in front of the crowd, and there's really sort of no way to get it back. But I think that one came out
having
fine.
Listened to it, I think that's good.
Yeah, I like it.
It's really, you have a wonderful voice. It's really just very pleasing to listen to.
Thank you.
So, well, there are Let's talk about the Great American Songbook. You know, there are a lot of songs that are hugely popular when they first come out. They're hits, but then they fade from memory, sometimes very quickly. But songbook composers and their songs are enduringly popular, as you were making reference to earlier. Singers love to sing them, and audiences know and love them. We can sing along in our heads while we listen, and it makes everybody happy, which is a good thing, which is one of the great gifts of music. So what do you each think is the special ingredient that makes these songs become time-tested standards?
Hard to define. I think when you think about that sort of core part of the standard Great American Songbook, that between World War I and World War II, I think a lot of the songs you said they make you happy. They express, I think, the optimism of the age. I think the songs themselves are just supremely well crafted. So some of the things I think which fall into obscurity, they probably just don't have the excellent inner musical workings that they're going to be able to last and become an earworm and stay with you. And I think we also often associate these songs with particular performers or performances. And so somebody says, well, I like this song, well, I have Judy Garland's take on that song, or oh no, it's got to be Sinatra or whatever. Everyone has
Ella
their
Fitzgerald.
And the thing about these songs, Ella Fitzgerald, we could spend all day talking about her, but I think probably from someone like Miranda's perspective, these songs are so rich, but they also give you such an opportunity to try some different things. They can take many different spins, and they can be adapted to different styles and different interpretations. I think there's something about that which helps them to endure as well, because they can be recorded and re-recorded and so on. And I think now we're also far enough removed from when many of those original songs were written that there's a feeling of nostalgia as well for a different time and for an earlier time, for a simpler time. That's inherent in the songs, which helps them to endure. And maybe a little bit later in the discussion, we can talk about the ways in which the canon is expanding and may continue to expand. But maybe you want to weigh in on...
I think I agree with everything that you said, and I feel like it is sort of hard to define this, and I don't know if there really is an actual, like a technical definition that you can't seal it up and say this is or this is not. In the quote Great American Songbook, I mean, even composers from other countries can be allowed into the Great American Songbook canon. And I really do think that what Jason said about standing the test of time, it still is, the jury is still out on some songs. I mean, certainly the ones from the second part of the last century, time will only tell. But there are so many, and I think, as we may have discussed offline a little bit, that recognizability and that this sort of the connection between the words and the music, the tune and the lyric, that are sort of immediately recognizable, and that people, it calls to mind not only the song itself, but the singers. Is it your are you a Sinatra person for this song, or is it really only Ella Fitzgerald, or do you even get into the Rod Stewart-ness of it? Linda Ronstadt took her stab at it. I mean, many great singers and performers have taken have lent their voices to these standards.
Keith Richards.
And there's modern day people having their take at it, which is and that's one of the things I think that does keep them enduring, because the folks that obviously were around when some of these songs were popular, and let's not forget, this was popular music. The songs that we consider these so-called standards, which now you think of as sort of like it's in this sort of niche, this different genre of music that's like old music, or it's jazz, or it's kind of this sort of, there's a stamp on it that says like this isn't modern. That was popular music of the day. They were in the plays or the musicals, they were in the films, they were written for commercial purposes. They were popular and people loved them. They were on the radio. And nowadays we are fed, so much different media, and we have access to so much more music to choose from. But in those days it was, this is the popular music, and lump it or love it. And I just think that, people like the singers of today, Michael Bublé, for example, that are, they're still doing justice to these songs, and other artists that are even younger, that it's wonderful that they're doing that, because they're
Yeah.
sort of still bringing these forward into the modern times and giving them that sort of credibility that, you know, popular artists of today, Lady Gaga, doing an album
With Tony Bennett.
with
That's
Tony
what a
Bennett,
wonderful
for
collaboration, yeah.
for
Which was
example,
hugely popular.
Absolutely.
Loved it, yeah.
and introduce that music to a whole legion of fans that probably
Absolutely.
would never have paid
Yeah.
attention to it.
Well, what you're both saying is really interesting. You've added some of the historical context of the times in which a lot of the songs we associate with the songbook were written. And you've also made reference to what I would call that each song has kind of a universe of the same song done in different times by different artists within it. So there's something organic and alive in
yes.
these standards. It's not an historical artifact. It's something that each new generation brings. There's of such quality that each new generation wants to resuscitate them and give them their own flavor, their own stamp. So, well, no wonder they're standards. But there's something you may have known about Michael Feinstein's Great American Songbook Foundation, but I just learned about it, as I just learned about that Bob Dylan song, thank you very much, by doing a little research to prepare to be able to speak with both of you. And I watched a little video. There's a lot of information on his website, but he included a little video in which he gave his definition of what he thinks makes a song suitable or qualify for the Great American Songbook. And he said that these songs have perfectly melded the lyrics and the music, so they're beautifully and perfectly inseparable. To hear the music is to think of the lyrics. To hear or think of the lyrics is to bring the song back in mind. And his example of that, and I think it's a very good one, was Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which I tried in my head. No, I can't separate.
Right.
You know, it's totally inseparable. And there's been so many versions, obviously, witnessing your point of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So I was curious to find out whether that is something that makes sense to you, what he said is distinctive about songbook songs.
Sure, I'll just share an anecdote which is related. As it turns out, almost all of the arrangements that Cantemus is singing by themselves were crafted by my late great conducting teacher Robert Page, who just working on this music brings back so many pleasant memories. But he really believed and put forth the idea that you're going to approach a Gershwin tune just like you would do a Mozart aria. It deserves the same kind of respect, and I've always approached the repertoire in that way, and it's been really a part of my sort of viewpoint as an artist. And I remember sitting with him early on when I first met him. We were in a restaurant in the Berkshires, and there was a pianist playing standards. And he was really into it. He says, "Oh, you can tell this pianist knows every lyric of the songs." And at the time, it washed right over my head. It's exactly what you're saying, that he was playing in a way that demonstrated that it wasn't just about the notes, but this kind of inseparable quality of the lyrics and the music, which I thought it just brought that back to me. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think what Michael Feinstein's point is well taken, especially from my standpoint as a singer, because we are talking about songs that you sing. There's a whole world and a treasure trove of music out there that aren't actually songs that you sing.
right.
They're music that you listen to, that you appreciate, that you adore, that you revere,
Dance to.
or songs by more popular bands, or the Glenn Miller Orchestra, to go way back, or even to this day, talking about bands like U2. Some of them eventually may be considered in the Great American Songbook or the Great Songbook. But I think what we're kind of zeroing in on with this American Songbook is these are songs that one would sing, that you, even as a lay person, not a real singer, could sing to yourself, or sing in the car, sing with your family around the piano, sing at the campfire, or what have you. And so for me, that idea of the lyric and the melodies being very entwined, and you're unable to sort of untangle those from one another. That's important as a singer, to really have those things be sort of on the same playing field, and they take equal measure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's quite a hat trick, I think, to pull off for composers. But there was something else I wanted to ask you about, and that's that, to become a standard by definition means the song has to have been around long enough to become a standard in the repertoire. And I think most commonly when people hear American Songbook, they think Gershwin,
Sure.
Cole Porter, Irving Berlin, people from that era. And let's talk about living composers that you think have found their way in or are chipping away at, digging down, and they will be there. Are there living composers that, or the phrase you used was expanding the canon, are expanding the canon, you think?
Sure. I think, I'm not even sort of talking about a generation between. So the next generation that sort of inherited this Great American Songbook, but lived in a very different time in America, and times were changing, so to speak. So you think about people like Bob Dylan, Paul Simon, you think about Woody Guthrie. So the sort of folk tradition that came in alongside social unrest and social commentary, and so the songs took on the idea of what songs could do became a little bit different. It wasn't just about something comforting in your living room, is something that maybe challenges. So I think these songs from the 60s and 70s, late 50s are likely to live on and have the same kind of malleability and re-recordability. Unfortunately, they also have similar historical touch points that seem to keep coming back as we're in a period now where we're wrestling with some of the same problems. So I would suspect that some of these songs will live on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100% agree with that. I think that some of them, you could certainly argue that some of these songs, particularly some of the songwriters that Jason just mentioned, Bob Dylan, Paul Simon, we've talked about Hoagie Carmichael, and these are, moving a little bit forward in time. I think it's going to be easier and easier to start incorporating those. I mean, we might be among many groups of musicians this year dipping into the American Songbook or the American canon for the America's 250th anniversary of signing of the Declaration of Independence, and I think you probably will see some creativity in the choices that are made, and I think as long as we don't remain too proscribed about who belongs in the American Songbook, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't include the song Yesterday by the Beatles.
Oh, absolutely.
And certainly songs, like if we go back to the ones that sort of either make you feel good, or I think even feel good or feel nostalgic, or just make you feel.
Sure.
And those are songs that I always gravitate towards performing, or the songs that make me feel and songs that I can help make you feel. And
absolutely.
that it's a catharsis in terms of a relationship between the artists performing and the people in the audience listening, and it's a very symbiotic give and take. So if I'm singing for instance, one of these Bob Dylan songs, I don't have a working memory of when Bob Dylan would have been performing You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go, or Blown in the Wind, but you might. And that might mean something for you. That might be a recall for you.
Absolutely.
And I think that when we talk about who belongs and who doesn't belong, or who will belong, it's true. They do need to stand the test of time. But there are songs that I would argue are definitely going to be considered. And I think that we've got in our coming project, we're really kind of running the gamut. We will be doing, I think we will be doing Georgia on My Mind. I think we will be doing some Paul Simon, some Bob Dylan, and Otis Redding. So we will be incorporating some of the more modern, I would say, we can just say the greats.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it is recognizable, and if you know that song, and if it makes you think, okay, I feel this, and it brings back a lot of things for me.
Well, all the composers and performers, because people like Paul Simon, Bob Dylan, they were performers as well as, and so those are, in my memory. And they bring back a whole era of, protest songs, and as you were kind of revisiting an era that calls for them, as you were referencing. Well, it's powerful, and what we have to do is wait and see, basically. But those all sound like really good bets, the ones you've mentioned. But let's just extend this a little bit, because people like Bob Dylan, Paul Simon, they're of my era, which means they're a little older. We won't say how.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to find out, because people have continued writing music. There's plenty of composers and performers. Do you have any young composers that you put your money on?
I would speak for Gillian Welch as so to me to go into what I would consider more the modern age of American music and thinking of what may or may not become a so-called standard, I think we do have to open up the playbook a little bit wider. And so I would look to what we might call now Americana. So in that realm, I would consider some of the Americana artists. Brandi Carlile is one. I think certainly we could look at more sort of real popular artists that are very much adored and hugely famous, like Lady Gaga, we discussed earlier. Not only because of her extreme popularity and fame, and her fans are diehard and legion, but just that she does have a very strong musical sense as a songwriter.
Her music and her brand, I think, will live on.
Exactly. And maybe going back into, we'll jump back into what I would consider my generation. I mean, I think we have Dolly Parton's
Oh my gosh,
I
yes.
Will Always Love You. That's a great example. It's a song.
Yeah,
it's a singer's
absolutely.
song, so it's in a songbook of its own. And you've got Dolly Parton, who is an incredible American songwriter.
Absolutely.
One of the most celebrated and famous songwriters ever in American history. A woman. And that song, of course, with the crossover success that was given to it by the
Incomparable.
just incomparable treatment that Whitney Houston gave it for a film, popular movie, The Bodyguard. So that was an example of a song that was taken from one songwriter, and it had one purpose at the time. It was written and recorded, and it was adopted and made even more famous and propelled into the stratosphere and will forever live.
But it's also one of those melding of lyrics and music, because it's a hard song to sing, but that doesn't stop all of us from trying.
Right. Just a shower song, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And a car song.
Yeah, it feels good to sing it. Yeah,
I would songs like My Heart Will Go On from Titanic the movie. Things
also not easy to sing.
Not easy as I said, it's a singer's song.
It's a singer song for ones that sound good, because you're up to the challenge.
But those are, I think, some more modern ones that have already pretty firmly planted
inching
themselves.
In,
Yes.
Or, not inching in, yards in. They're already kind of showing they're surviving the test of time. I can't resist asking you for your personal favorites, a couple from the Great American Songbook.
Oh my gosh. I have a lot of favorites.
I'm not surprised,
if
Miranda.
we're really, sort of sitting back in time, I think I love Gershwin, the Gershwins. Embraceable You is one of my favorite songs to sing.
So lovely.
And I've Got a Crush on You, another Gershwin tune, one of my favorites. Boy, get me into some Cole Porter. You're the Top, Anything Goes.
Oh, they're such fun songs.
Yes, Someone to Watch Over Me from Gershwin again. And I think
Summertime is one of my personal favorites.
Summertime, yes, one of my favorites.
And that's hugely fun to sing, even for the less talented.
No, absolutely. Yeah, Summertime belongs to everyone.
Yeah, it does. How about you, Jason?
It's really hard to know. It's like naming your favorite child.
Yeah, I know.
I'll echo some things which Miranda said. The Gershwins, I think their kind of classical sensibility, the craft, and the arc of the phrases that he accomplishes, which just stick with you and just kind of get you in the heart. The lyric sensibility, the humor in Cole Porter is, and Irving Berlin with some of his multiple verse songs that are just like, kind of goofy, clever lyrics, but I just love them so much. But if I had to name my very favorite standard of all time, it would be Jerome Kern, All the Things You Are.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Which we aren't
so
singing on this
beautiful.
concert. What's wrong with me?
I don't know. There are too many to choose
It
from.
leaves us a chance to do another concert because there's so much repertoire.
There
You
is.
can make it an encore. Well, thank you for being willing to pick out favorites. I know the list could go on because
could,
it's
it
hard to
really
narrow it down. But that's part of what does that tell us about the Great American Songbook? That there's so many and that we love them. And we even love to think about them and try and name some of our favorites. And they bring a smile to our faces to even think about them. And I think that's just one of the precious things about the songbook. Well, having been to many Cantemus concerts, I've learned to expect always an excellent performance level that's taken for granted, but also to expect something that will be unexpected, Jason. Now, I can't ask you what that would be because it would give away the surprise, and I don't want to ruin it. So instead, I'm just going to ask each of you if you would tell me 2 or 3 adjectives for what impact you expect and hope this upcoming concert will have on the audience. Fair?
Absolutely. I think, to be honest, I hope that folks will find it a sort of welcome distraction.
Yeah.
I hope they will find and feel joy in the performance. And I don't mean just that, these songs are joyful, but there's something about, you talked about some of the songs that are generational and have spoken to you as we've mentioned the titles. As we put these arrangements for Miranda in front of the choir, they light up. And they're very excited.
bet.
We're
Yeah.
singing a Linda Ronstadt medley. They know every word. They're lighting up singing it. And I think some of that ingredient that Miranda had talked about that we don't know exactly what it's going to be because there's going to be this give and take collaboration between the band and the chorus with the audience and how they're going to react. I think what's going to be special about it is not knowing and just being ready in the moment to embrace
Yeah.
whatever comes along. So
Yeah.
that to me will be the surprising element that
Yeah.
I hope people will take away as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think for me, this collaboration, this whole entire project it represents, 2, separate sort of entities, but coming together with the singular purpose of putting on a great show for people.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the larger themes involved, and when Jason chooses the program for the chorus to perform, and what they decide is going to
Yeah.
be sort of the theme. And I think having something that every single person in the audience can get behind that is uniquely American. I think that's going to be a nice moment for us to feel and for the audience to feel that these are products of America that we can all feel proud of.
Yes,
That we can
exactly.
all
Yes.
feel that
Yeah.
that we have some stake in,
Yeah.
that we can get behind, and that does unite us.
Yeah.
So I think that that's going to be something that I'm looking forward to feeling with everybody.
Well put, both of you. And the adjective that comes to my mind as you talk is festive. In the best possible way, it's going to be a festive concert.
A true celebration.
A true celebration. And so let me end the show then by reminding people that the Salute to the Great American Songbook will be offered on May 2nd at 7:30 p.m. at Manchester Essex High School in Manchester by the Sea, and again on May 3rd at 4 p.m. here in Newburyport at St. Paul's Episcopal Church. And if you want more information about the concert, you can go to cantemus.org, easy to remember, or mirandarussell.com. Both of them easy to remember. Go there if you want more information about the concert. So thank you, Jason. Thank you, Miranda. It's been so much fun to talk to you, and it sounds like it's going to be very fun indeed. Appreciate your taking the time to come to the morning show to talk about the Salute to the Great American Songbook. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having us, Mary.
Thank you very much. It's been a delight.
Well, that's it for today, everybody. Please join us again next Thursday at 9 for the morning show. Until then, everybody, please be well. Bye now.